Howdy, folks. I'm Curious Copper, cantankerously cursing conniving cutlery.
I'm Amber.
And Amber, why is Copper cursing out conniving cutlery? Is it because it's silverware and Copper's jealous?
I mean, you have to ask Copper.
I'm gonna assume that's the reason. Let's get started. All right, folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Bringing My Pet Ferrets to Work on Bring Your Pet to Work Day? I'm a 27-year-old female, and I'm a manager at a boring office shop, and some employees got the bright idea to plan a Bring Your Dog to Work Day, and it got approved from the upper management. Some wanted it to be every Friday or every other Friday, but they said, we'll just try it out once or twice and see how it goes. I personally was against it, and I'm not too much of a dog person. I don't know why this pet at work stuff is catching on. I said that it could be disruptive, and besides, not everyone has dogs, and what about people with other pets like me feeling left out? So they said, fine, it'll be a bring your pet to work day instead of a bring your dog. Any pet is fine as long as it's trained and kept under control and won't cause problems. On Friday, I brought my 3 ferrets to work with me. I took in the big transport cage on wheels, so they had plenty of room. I have to say I sort of liked it. It was fun having them there with me all day long if everyone else got to have their dogs. A few of the other employees were intrigued by them and stopped by my desk, but a lot of them got upset throughout the day. There were many complaints about the smell, and a couple of people gagged a bit passing through the area. To be fair, this is the UK, and the ferrets are not descented here. After only a couple of hours, my manager stopped by and asked to speak with me, and he said that the ferrets were causing a disruption and that I should take them home. I said, how so? They're objectively way less disruptive than the people's barking dogs, and they have to stay in their cage. He said, come on, the odor is bothering people, and you know it. But I said again, this is just the natural smell of a ferret. It's not even a bad smell, it's just weird to most people, but it's not harmful at all. Compared to a wet dog, the smell of some people's dogs, which is literally caused by bacteria, again, objectively, the ferret smell is not a problem compared to them at all. He got upset and said that I was being difficult, and eventually had to take the ferrets home. Other employees are still upset with me for being insensitive, but I think that it's only fair. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
I mean, I think the real jerk here is the employer who went ahead and put in a take your pet to work day without everyone being on board.
Yeah.
The workplace needs to be a comfortable environment for all employees. And there are a lot of reasons why people may not want dogs in their space. You know, people have allergies. Some people have severe pet allergies. People have sensory issues and may be averse to barking dogs. People have trauma around being attacked by dogs.
Yeah.
And so it just feels like one of those situations where they take the wants of the many over the needs of the few.
Well, and then OP originally made their complaint, and so they said, okay, we'll open it up to all pets for this specific reason, right? And then OP's not even able to have the pet that they want. And I'm not saying that OP is entirely in the right here, because I think that there are some people who are going to have sensory issues, and if they smell strong smells like ferret musk, then they might be like, oh, this is really giving me a headache or some other thing, right?
Well, it just goes to show that having pets in the workplace, for the most part, isn't a good way to go. And, like, I would understand if this was, like, a dog park or a cat cafe or something like that. Like, yeah, of course there are going to be animals in there. You know that. Or if it's a workplace with an established office pet and everyone's made aware of that before they sign on.
Yeah.
But to change the terms of the workplace and expect people to still come in and be productive when you have all these distractions running around.
Yeah, I don't think that this actually is going to add to productivity. I think that this is just kind of like a gimmick, and maybe it was supposed to be just a one-time thing because it sounds like it, but people are going to be like, oh, remember that one time we all brought in our pets? We should do that again sometime, right?
Right. Well, and the thing about morale boosters is, like, this is not the sort of thing that's going to boost everyone's morale. Like, companies like cheap ways to, quote unquote, boost morale, but sometimes they make the office environment objectively worse for people. And so, like, if you really want to boost morale, just pay your people better, give them better benefits, tell them when they do well.
So I think that they could have pulled this off, but I don't think they planned it out well, and I don't think they executed it well. I think that in order to pull something off like this, you really need to have a dedicated building for just pets, right? You can say, oh, we can bring our pets in, but it needs to be this building, and anyone who wants to have a pet in at certain points in time, they need to be in this building and isolate things out. And I mean, that certainly doesn't help OP with the ferret problem, because people are probably still going to have issues with the ferret smell.
Mm-hmm.
But it is going to be one of those things where OP isn't going to feel left out or feel distracted by the other dogs if the dogs are in a completely separate building type of thing. So I think that the way that they planned this out was probably asking for a disaster and even asking for a liability. I mean, if the dogs are actually barking all day long, which it sounds like they were from OP's post, then that's not a good work environment. Like that would be a very disruptive work environment for me.
And how many people for me as well, and how many people who claim their pets are trained, it's not actually the case. Like, if they have expensive office equipment, there's always a possibility that animals could run into it, climb on it, and otherwise destroy things.
Yeah. I mean, how much time do you expect it's going to be before they start inviting the monkeys in? Somebody with their pet monkey and their other exotic pets. I'm going to bring my boa constrictor in. Boa constrictor is pretty undisruptive, right? It just happened to eat my boss. Let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Elaine Mole says, you're the jerk. Your work was trying to do a nice thing and make the day go a little bit quicker. And you're ruining it for everyone because you wanted to prove a point. I'm going to disagree there. I don't think that OP did this to prove a point. I think OP wanted their pet to come in, and that if everyone else was going to have their pet, they wanted it to be equal, right?
Well, and even if OP wanted to prove a point to a little extent, which I'm not saying they did or didn't, like, the person's statement is objectively wrong because it would not make the day better for everyone. Clearly, having just the dogs there wouldn't make it better for OP.
Yeah.
And this is one of those cases where, and it happens so often in our society, and it's very frustrating, where we treat certain people as like their wants are the best. Other people, usually disabled people, because a lot of the people who have issues with dogs have sensory aversions, or they have traumas and stuff like that, which are all disabilities that make it harder for them to do their job around dogs. We just brush their needs to the side.
And OP replies, I guess, but by doing this nice thing of bring your pets to work day, they're accepting that there will be some animal odors in the office, right? So how can they arbitrarily decide that they're okay with dog odor, but not ferret odor? There's no objective reason for that, right? It's just people saying so. Ferret odor is totally harmless to humans, unlike some smells from dogs that they can make. It's not caused by uncleanliness. And Electric Fox 6383 says, this cannot be real. What in the world? Of course you're the jerk. They stink and you know it, and you had to bring in 3 little good luck with getting ahead at work now. You're the jerk. And I mean, I want to just interject here real quick. So you're saying that your pet choice is tied to your professional job performance. Really? Mm-hmm. Really? Is that what we're saying now? So somebody who chooses that they like ferrets as opposed to dogs, now that means that they're not going to be able to get ahead and work because it suddenly impacts their job performance.
Right. Well, and that's the other issue with this too, is that it's not an equal playing field. And if you're bringing pets in the office and they're giving you advantages or disadvantages, like having what pet you choose to have has no bearing on your performance at work, presumably.
Yeah, imagine if your boss was like, you have a super cute dog. You're getting promoted.
Right. Like, that wouldn't be fair, and that's not okay.
I love it when you bring your dog in on Fridays, and we want to keep you here for as long as possible, so please have more money. That is not the way a good business should run, right? I mean, I think that this comment is just completely outrageous in that respect. And OP replies, I mean, dogs stink too, and there were many more than 3 dogs in the office. Ferrets' smell might be stronger, but it's not really bad smell. It's just the way they're supposed to smell. It's not caused by bacteria like most dog smells. It's just their natural scent. And Minuscule Informant says, fun fact, a group of ferrets is called a business. So technically, you brought in business.
Yeah.
All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Update. Am I a jerk for telling my fiance that if he expects me to contribute 50-50, we have to make some serious changes to our lifestyle? Hey, everyone, this got way bigger than I intended, so I figured a follow-up was owed. So last time I posted was on Monday. Monday as a whole was spent just sorting through what I felt and what to do next. There was a lot of silence and a lot of anger, and a lot of Reddit advice, some of which I found very insightful and some of which was less so. Also, some people think that I made this up as part of viral marketing sponsorship between Buffalo Wild Wings, Audi, and Zillow, which honestly would solve the money problems if true, but alas, that is not the case. On Tuesday, after I got home from work, I just sort of walked up to him on the elliptical and explained as calmly as I could that I had questions, and that if he actually wanted to marry me, he needed to be willing to answer them. I asked if he thought that I was a gold digger, yes or no. He said yes. I told him that I wasn't willing to be in a relationship where I have to prove myself by sacrificing any sort of stability, and that led to a bit of a screaming match and eventually a confession. So it turns out that we cannot afford anything we have right now. We are in serious credit card debt, and the cars are both on the verge of being repossessed. And I did not know any of this. He has been cutting corners on actual necessities, including psychiatric medications. That, in combination with some comments from his family, led him to some pretty dark places. My fiance had a full breakdown and apologized for calling me a gold digger, which was nice to hear, but this whole thing has me pretty shaken up. I went to stay with a friend for a little bit. Yesterday, my fiance and I did in fact go out to Buffalo Wild Wings and get 2 for 1 boneless. We talked a lot. I'm still writing fiance for now, and I really hope we can work through this. We talked about how to sell the cars. We don't particularly have a choice at this point, and about my income, his income, and the sort of life that we want to have. If we stay together, we'll be changing how we live a lot. We need to get out of debt, and we need to get on our feet. I know some people are going to say that I'm being dumb for not immediately dropping all contact and giving up on the relationship, but I can't do that. I can't look at the guy that I love who went off his meds to try and make a good life for me and think that he's not worth sticking around for, at least to try. And I don't know what the future looks like anymore at all, though, and the wedding is very postponed at the moment. Sorry, this wasn't a more fun update. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's glad that OP got the information out of their partner and now can make an informed decision. It's not good when your partner withholds important financial information from you.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I mean, I think that this was a good thing to get out of the way now, right? A lot of people go through financial problems. And I mean, financial problems are like one of the biggest reasons why relationships fail, right? And OP and her partner ended up talking about things maybe less than civilly because it sounds like he's having some mental health struggles and not treating them properly, which is probably making things that much worse, right? And that means that they can at least get over this hurdle, and hopefully when they're in a relationship, from here on out, they can actually start monitoring their finances a little bit more closely and actually doing things as a team and looking at what their budget can actually afford, right? So I think that this is not necessarily an end of a relationship, but I don't like the deception involved here.
Yeah.
But people panic, right? People get in over their heads. They don't know what to do. They think that they can just bail themselves out. They think, oh, it's fine. I'll be able to work this out. And before they know it, they're like in and over their heads, and there's just nothing they can do anymore about it. And people don't realize how fast money disappears, right? Money does not. If you don't plan your finances well, if you don't look at every single penny that you're spending, then you're going to risk ending up overextending yourself from month to month, right? Because you're like, oh, I can afford this, I can afford that, blah, blah, blah. And credit cards make it so easy to just spend money without even seeing it. So my big word of advice to anybody is to track your expenses, every single last one of them. You want to make sure that you can see exactly where your money is going, and tracking them is going to give you like verification and validation that everything that you're spending is everything that you're spending.
And it helps you, too, to think more critically about your purchases, because when you're not tracking it, it's easy to be like, oh, this is just $10. But if you're like, okay, I have to take this $10 out of what I have left. Do I really want to spend this much of my money?
So, yeah, I think I've said this before, but if you don't control your finances will control you. And that's a bad place to be, because you'll be somebody who's making $120,000 a year, which is arguably a pretty good chunk of money, and you'll be poor. And that's not a good way to live life. They could half their expenses tomorrow and probably dig themselves out of credit card debt inside of a year if they really wanted to push forward for that, right? Like the credit card debt, they're probably not in over, like, they're probably like $20,000 in debt or something like that, right? And then the cars on top of that, they're probably overextended. They can sell those. They'll no longer have to deal with that. Start paying down their credit card debt and then be clear with inside of a year, maybe 2 years, right? But it's not going to be a thing where they're going to be down and out forever. But still, 2 years is a long time if they really want to be dedicated. So I think that tracking their finances is a great way to go. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck, OP. And then actually, I want to make one last comment here. Like, people calling OP a gold digger. Would a gold digger stick around with a guy who's literally poor? I just think that it's a really good demo that she is not here with him for the money. She's here because she actually really loves him and wants things to work.
Yeah, well, I never thought OP sounded like a gold digger. Like, she sounded like a reasonable human being.
Yeah. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I don't have some tea here today, but I do have a cup that has a hole in it. So as you can see, like, because it's transparent.
Oh, I couldn't see it. I was like, a hole in it. I was like thinking about is this topology because it has the handle? So there's like the
It does have a hole in it right here.
Yeah.
Too, right? Amber has a joke.
First werewolf. Guess what? A family of humans moved into our neighborhood. Second werewolf. Good. Why don't you invite them over for a quick bite?
And it was just, if you couldn't tell, that was a Jovial Bobstein classic, folks. A Jovial Bobstein classic. I'm laughing so hard. It was so funny. I forgot to laugh. And like I said, I have coffee. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Saturday. I hope it's a special, relaxing Saturday. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please have it in the form of a short poem.
Pets are good, pets are great, but they shouldn't interrupt everyone's day.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that works. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!